Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're live tonight. We're talking to Hollis Jo McCollum, the author of To Save a World. And so before we went live, we were talking about the upsides of the coronavirus, mostly not seeing people we don't want to and not having to come up with an elaborate lie about it.
Mm-hmm. Very exciting times. Yes. Get to just like do a quick phone call on Thanksgiving now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Happy. I'm gonna eat turkey over here. See ya. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I live pretty much far away from all my side of the family and don't make it back for Thanksgiving or Christmas too often anyway. But in this way, it's like don't have to now. Yay, Corona.
Yay. Though, did you hear that Pfizer, I don't know how to pronounce it. They the vaccine that's 90% effective in testing. So that's good. I'm happy about it. I'm happy. I'll just have to come up with like other excuses after that.
So I actually have a funny story about that. The scientists that developed that vaccine, right? Mm-hmm. They are Turkish immigrants to Germany. Like they moved there when they were 10 or whatever, and have been living in Germany since, they were, 5. But my German teacher right now went to high school with one of them. So knows them personally. So when that came out, she's like, oh yeah, blah, this, blah, that, whatever. I know these people. I'm so proud of them. Also,
that's so cool.
Because, ever since I think the way she put it was ever since the 70s, Germans have been really anti-immigrants. And I was like, do I raise my hand and say, hey, I don't think that started in the 70s, but no. And then this way, they're like, oh, yes, all these Germans are always like, oh, yes, we love our immigrants now because they came up with this and blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, put the hand down, put the hand down, put the hand down, put the hand down, put the hand down.
Shut up. Yeah. Well, and it's surprisingly, there are a lot of Turkish people who immigrate to Germany. And I don't know why in particular, but when I was an immigration officer, I had a lot of people who were Turkish, but they had German passports come in as students. And I was like, all right. And it was a weird thing, but it's common apparently.
So I actually know the answer to this one. Also came from that same conversation with the put the hand down, put the hand down, put the hand. Apparently in the late 40s and early 50s, Germany didn't have a lot of people to perform manual labor. I don't know why. They had a human being shortage at the time. So they had to bring in people from other countries to work in factories.
Probably because they killed a lot of them,
Yeah, that and between us, the British and the Russians, I think most of that place just got fucking completely depopulated. So one of the things that came about that was people that had money in Germany still had money after the war. That's how shit works. But they didn't have people that get their hands dirty. So one of the things that came in and where I guess this last generation's negative view on immigrants there was when they come over, all they do is work in a factory. Plebes. And it's like, well, I mean, you guys would have that too, except for, you wanted to start some shit.
Yeah. So, that's how it goes. Though, as a historian, I mean, it's not like the Turks hadn't started a lot of shit in their own time.
I don't think the Turks have the Ottomans, on the other hand.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Blame it on them. Blame it on them.
I'll blame it on them. I mean, it's like everybody gets a turn to be an asshole in history. And you just hope that you're not that bad when your turn comes around.
Well, I mean, comparatively for what's happened in the last 100 years, there's some pretty high bars to get to that hopefully won't be got to again for at least another 500 years. Because that's the rotation.
Yeah, we'll see. The ancient world set some really high standards as well, and then we actually calmed down a fair amount in the the Renaissance and that kind of thing. But yeah, we revved up again.
Yeah, no, it's kind of interesting what happens when trade picks up and people have money and food and don't have to invade their neighbors for resources.
Yeah.
But that's a problem we're coming to now is because after World War II, we're like, hey, this kind of stuff sucks. So let's make everyone's economies interdependent on each other so that if we do go to war with each other, then everyone's economy collapses. But they didn't put into perspective, hey, what happens if the economy collapses before there's a war? Which is why it's dangerous that Italy's going down the rabbit hole that it's going down.
Oh goddamn! I'm half Italian. My mother's Italian. My father's Scottish.
No.
Huh?
With that here? No, I'd never.
Yeah, I know. Jesus, you'd never know. You'd never know. I'm obviously I'm from fucking Norway.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yeah, I know, like it's and we're American. Like my parents are both first generation here in the States, but yeah, we still have family over in Italy and stuff, and it blows. It blows.
Yeah.
And they've been having trouble for a while. It's a beautiful culture, it's a beautiful country. Love the food and my family, obviously, but funny story. We got scolded by my great aunt, who's a nun, when we visited one time because the siesta, the afternoon nap time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were staying with her. My aunts and I, we visited, like, this was over a decade ago. I was in college, and we like and great Aunt Maria, she was like telling us, we're all like, oh, we're just gonna go for a walk during siesta, and she was like, no, you're gonna go to sleep. Go to sleep. And we were like,
but the sun's shining, there's wine.
Yeah, I know. And we were like, okay, all right. And we just like kind of waited for her to go to sleep. And then we snuck out, but she fucking caught us. And we got like this old woman at the time, like Great Aunt Maria is dead now, but she at the time, and she would wear her nun's habit and shit. Like we got chased. She like was beating us. She like chased us outside, was beating us with her hand and telling us that we were like, disobeying the will of God or some shit. I don't know. She was pissed, and she like made us go sit in our rooms, and she locked the doors.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that's funny about that is if you want to bring up disobeying the will of God, it's like, yeah, if you actually read the Bible, you're not actually allowed to do fucking anything.
Yeah. Oh, jinx, yes. You're not. Like, you're not even allowed to eat shrimp. You're not like anything, not fucking anything. It's like, yeah. I am not religious at all. I was raised Roman Catholic, but
yeah, it's like, wait, you want a bacon cheeseburger with a milkshake? Yeah, that's like third layer of hell, dude. Exactly.
And I mean, the bar for hell has changed so much over the years. Like now you have to like, I don't know, like do a mass shooting or something. And then, but back like 1,000 years ago, it was like, oh, you ate meat on Friday? Fuck you. Mm-hmm. Hell.
Well, I mean, you could pretty much always do a mass shooting though. Like, I think it was Pope Innocent III that coined the term "kill them all, let God sort them out."
Yeah, I think
amplify their own. So that's actually something from a pope. So it's like, well, I mean, if we're gonna put killing on the table, if you get really technical, it's "thou shalt not murder." Killing and murder are two completely different things. All right,
they are very different things. Yes, I will agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. I mean, obviously you're a veteran, and I'm married to a vet, and have veterans going on both sides of the family. So,
oh no, I was going to say these heathens who disobey the will of God must suffer His wrath, and we will be the hand of God.
Aren't we already? Did you ever have you ever seen the webcomic called Sinfest?
No.
Tashida, I don't know, I forget, but Sinfest, and it's very funny because in it he has God doing hand puppets, and like in the sky, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. It's like they're not all winners. He usually does a comic every day, which you can't have all of them be winners in that case. But it's pretty clever shit. Yeah, I like it a lot. He's got one where this girl's like in the grocery store and she's like reading the label of something, and she's like reading it, and she goes, Jesus, fuck me. And then like Jesus pokes his head down the aisle, and he's like, no, I don't do that. And then he walks away. I'm like, I fucking love it.
There was this it started off on Newgrounds, eventually moved over to YouTube. There was this guy that would do parodies of video games, and there was this one where this guy, he's going through, he's fighting or whatever, and somebody shows up and cuts his ear off, and then he goes, Jesus, that hurt, and Jesus goes up and slaps his ear back on, and he's like, thanks, Jesus, you're a bro. And he's like, I got you, man. And then like later, he gets in a fight with somebody else, and this other dude gets scared and starts, pissing his pants, but he pees all over the place and it gets all over everybody, and they're like, oh God, this is so disgusting. Oh Jesus, help me. And Jesus shows up and goes, hey, you called? Oh God, no, this is terrible. God. And then God shows up and like, hey guys, oh my God, there's piss everywhere. What I invented, it's so gross.
That's pretty funny. And he can do nothing because he invented it. It's over now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though he is sterile. I don't know.
Is he? I mean, like, we're all God's kids, so
Yeah, so it's, yeah. Medically speaking, it's not that bad, but it is disgusting at the same time. Yeah. I was raised by a nurse. I always think medically. I'm like, I've given people like stitches in the Amazon jungle and shit. I'm like, yeah, give me some blood. I got this. I can handle anything.
What were you doing down in the Amazon?
So I went off-roading in the Amazon with I have some friends, and it was the Peruvian Amazon. I have friends who live in Peru.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw your pictures from Machu Picchu.
Yeah. That was the last time I was in Peru in 2017, but I went to the Amazon in 2009. I've been, like I said, I got friends down there. I've been a few times. And we went off-roading, and like one of the guys on the, which by the way, like I was so happy I was on that trip because like I was the only one with any real fucking medical knowledge. I was like, seriously, like how the fuck did you guys survive without another human? Like, what the fuck is your problem? And then they didn't bring enough drinking water, and then they forgot the grill, like the like grill for the meat. And I was like, well, let's just find a flat rock and we'll put it on top of the charcoal. And they were like, what is that going to do? And I'm like, motherfuckers, that's the original grill.
It's hot.
We get the metal from the minerals and rocks. Like, find a flat stone, idiots. Like,
yeah, people tend to forget that metal is just rocks that we can shape.
Yes. And I was just, it pissed me off. Just, I was like, really? And I am in the Amazon jungle with you idiots. This is what's happening right now? Like, seriously? I literally saved someone's life twice on that trip. Like, it's like, literally pulled someone from like falling off the edge of a cliff and out of the way of a landslide. I was, anyway, but.
Like an adventure, though.
It was good. It was an adventure. It was an adventure, and I did have a lot of fun. We actually got stuck overnight because of the landslides, because it was raining so much, and we had to like spend a couple days extra in the Amazon. But like one of the guys, the axle under his truck broke, and he was under his truck trying to fix it, and he sliced his palm open on one of the parts.
And that's like grease and metal and mud right there.
Well, no, and they were going to put fucking duct tape on it.
Oh, I mean, I would have peed on it before I put the duct tape on it.
Well, yeah, they were just like, duct tape it, and I was like, we have a first aid kit. I always have a sewing kit in my bag, not for sewing, but for shit like this. Come here and hold your breath.
Congratulations, you get the flask today.
Yeah, I was like, I gave him something to bite down on. I was like, you're getting fucking stitches because this motherfucker's deep, and you happen to have somebody who knows how to do this, so bear it. But yeah, frontier medicine's the best. Friggin' I remember one time we were at a party behind the barracks, and somebody fell down on my buddy and pinned him into a fire, and like third thing. And since we'd been drinking, if we would have taken him to the hospital, we all would have got hit for, an alcohol related incident. So we took him back to my barracks room. I took my shirt off, took his shirt off. I gave him a bottle of rum and said, drink this. This is going to hurt. And then pulled his arm into the shower and got the green side of a sponge and pulled all his friggin' skin off. Oh. And then we went and stole one of the medics or one of the corpsmen's kit bag or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and like took all the fucking like burn cream and just, all right, so we're gonna slather this down. You're gonna just keep your arm over here and like let that come in. We'll go tomorrow when we're sober and we can lie about how it happened. He's like, yeah, and you know what? I bet he still has his arm today, or at least I hope he does. Dude, no, it was weird because like it was like bad. Like you could see like the holes where the pores were. Like, oh shit! So it was 3rd-degree burns. Yeah. And since I went to the hospital with them, and it was, Navy medicine, they're like, all right, so we're going to teach you how to dress this every day, twice a day, because we don't need him to come back to the hospital all the time for it. But what was weird about it was his tattoos were not affected at the fuck all. The fuck? Like, seriously? Yeah. Like, I mean, like, you could, like, see the muscle through some of the fucking shit, but then when it grew back, like, you still got the, deer skull right here. Jeez, I mean, like, yay, but yeah, like, seriously, like I mean, I didn't realize that ink would penetrate that deep. I mean, I have some tattoos, but I'm just like, dude, I always assumed that if I had a serious injury that it would be gone forever. Well, I think on most people, but this dude, I'm not convinced isn't some type of fucking lesser deity.
I've also personally been there for, I think, 5 of his concussions. And like, I think the 4th one's supposed to kill you. But
yeah. Okay, well, maybe he's like a Super Saiyan. I don't know, or Scion or something. I don't know. Like, just is gonna
just pour some whiskey on him. We'll be all right in the morning.
Damn. I wish I had that kind of resilience. I mean, I have like a medically high tolerance for pain because I have a lot of like fucked up health conditions, and one of them is chronic pain since I was 11 or 12 years old. So I feel that something's happening, but like I literally had a broken there you are.
Okay, all right, broken toe.
Yeah. As I was just saying, I literally had a broken toe for 2 weeks before I realized it was actually broken. And then I looked at it and I realized it was all purple and misshapen and shit. And I was like, oh, and I clicked it back into place, taped that shit up and took an anti-inflammatory, and I went on with my day. But like, I do not have the healing capability that guy has. Like, I'm very normal to below average healing wise. I just don't feel it.
Yeah, no, and the best thing about pain though is like when you go to the doctor, like, all right, so on a scale 1 through 10, how much in pain are you right now? It's like, I don't know, like 7. It's like, well, 7, you should be screaming. I'm like, yeah, it's always 7. All right.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, my doctor, who knows me really well, like he was looking at, he was doing an X-ray thing on me, and he was just like, hey, and he asked me, he was like, how much pain are you in on a scale of 1 to 10? And I was like, like maybe a 3. And he looked at the nurse and he was like, write down 7. And the nurse was like, what do you mean? He was like, I know her. Write down 7.
You just remind us later, I know what I'm talking about.
In reality. I was like, okay. Yeah, shit happens. It's all right. I can.
Yeah. No, I like fucking with those people though too. Like, especially if it's like for some small stuff and you're never going to see that person again. Like, my big one is getting shots and like blood drawn. They're like, so are you afraid of needles? I'm like, I'm fucking terrified of needles. Don't look at it. I'm not looking at it. Oh my God. And then it's like, is it in yet? Is it in yet? Is it in yet? Oh God. Oh, okay. All right, we're good. Okay. All right. Now
yeah. Thanks. No worries. Yep. Yeah.
Especially if I can smell that they're new. It's like fresh blood.
That's good. Actually, I should try that out because that sounds fun. Actually, I don't know. Though my doctor does. He's a family friend, as well as like being my doctor for like 20 years at this point. I don't know. But he actually has me when he has his medical interns in. He'll like call me and be like, "Hey, can you change your appointment and come in at this time? And do you mind if there are like 3 interns in there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bring it on. Let's fucking do this."
No, I'd be afraid of that. Like that thought conjured the image of like a Victorian era doctor, like in like with the bleachers and like, all right, so what I will do now on the subject is.
Oh man, well, it works because like. I don't know. It actually does feel a little bit like that because the medical students are so terrified. They're more terrified than like you are. And they're sitting there like they don't know what the fuck to do. And not to get too graphic, but this doctor is a gynecologist. Yeah. So like, and I don't give a shit. I'm like, you're a doctor. This is medical. Who cares? Who cares? And so they're just there and I'm like there. And and they're just, and he's just like, yes, well, you see here, and the fibroids and and they're just like, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, I've got a lot of fucking conditions. My uterus was in the wrong place. Oh well.
Well, no, the other thing with that too is like them being as fresh to the, I guess, community that is they're probably sympathetic feelers too. So they're like, oh, that looks like it hurts. Oh, mine hurts now. Oh no.
Yeah, a little bit. What, like a couple of them, one of them was present for a minor, like outpatient surgery.
Yeah.
That I didn't, like I'm allergic to anesthesia, so they can't actually put me under. Yeah, well, so I've had a lot of awake time surgery because I've had 8 surgeries in my life. It sucks. I'm used to it. Thank goodness for high pain tolerance.
Right.
But
are you sure you're supposed to be taking that out? Oh, you're putting that back in a minute. Okay.
Yeah. I actually had one of them ask me once during a surgery why I wasn't screaming. I was like, that's something that you shouldn't ask a patient.
No. Next time you have to be like, should I be? Oh, fuck! Oh, sorry. I got under control. Somebody give me a cigarette real quick. Oh, I can't. What the fuck?
Sterile zone, motherfucker. I can't. No, yeah.
Can you get a beer at least? Jesus Christ, come on.
Yeah, but I got him in trouble accidentally though, because there was a lot of blood. It was surgery, and they like and then they were supposed to help clean. They were supposed to clean me up after, and they kind of just left me the wet wipes, and we're like, okay, and they left because they were freaking, and then like. So I was like, whatever. So I started cleaning myself up. I was like, whatever, I know how to do this. And then my doctor came back in, and he was like, did she just leave you to do that? And I said, yeah. And then he like stormed out, and then I heard him berating the fuck out of her outside. And I was like, oh, I feel bad, but not that bad, because you shouldn't have done that. Like, if I were a different patient, that shit wouldn't have I am bomb proof at this point, but like other people couldn't even stand the sight of their own blood. So bitch, maybe you shouldn't be a doctor.
Hey, bring it in here. Hey, listen, I'm not going to say anything because I'm cool, but you are going to get your ass sued off if you do this to anybody else. All right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and he chewed her out, which I'd never like. My doctor is so like mellow and sweet, and he's his bedside manner is a 10, and he's awesome. And I didn't even know he could take that tone of voice with another human being. I was like, oh shit, like, there he goes. But
apparently, as a Yosemite Sam switch.
Yeah. Well, he cares a lot about his practice, and
that's good though.
Yeah, it is good. He's awesome. Yeah, I strongly recommend him to anyone looking for a good gynecologist.
He's not angry. He's passionate.
Yeah. Oh God, I have so many jokes right now. Yeah. Especially since he also was my mom's doctor. I shouldn't make mom jokes about my own mother. She is such a sweet and dainty woman. It's not right.
Wait, is this the Italian side or the? Okay, so you have to call bullshit because you're saying there's a sweet Italian person.
She is. I mean, like when she gets mad, she will cut your hand off. But but she's incredibly sweet. She's a really like kind, like, but it's kind of fun. She's got this dichotomy, or this Jekyll Hyde situation where she'll be so kind and so patient and just like you don't even know how someone so generous exists, and then you piss her off,
and then she cuts her arm off and shoots you with it. Also in the comments, no,
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So
yeah, she'll do you in. Like she one time she got the wooden spoon out when we were kids because we were being little assholes, and she like we were on a vacation and they had rented some cabin and we were being dicks because we were small children and we were in a cabin that was new. Yeah. There are 3 of us, by the way. So, like we were just like assholes. And my mom yelled at us and told us, I'm going to get the wooden spoon because that's what you beat children with in Italian families. And we thought there wasn't a wooden spoon because it wasn't our house. And mom was like,
we're the only people, we have a spoon monopoly. You ain't got that here.
Oh, no, yeah, pretty much. And then like she started tearing through that kitchen faster than you can imagine. And she found one and we fucking scattered. Like I remember I like ran into one of the random bedrooms and squeezed myself in between the nightstand and the bed. Like I hid. And Dad actually, he saw how angry she was and he calmed her down and she broke that wooden spoon on the countertop. She slapped it so against the countertop. She was so pissed.
I freaked out. That was my ass. Like she meant business tonight. She
really did. And then like after a minute, we just heard Dad call. He was like, okay, she broke the spoon. Like it's safe to come out now.
Yeah, but then what if you come out? She's like, oh my God, hide. She's getting stabby with it.
I think he had taken it away at that point.
Yeah.
My father was he was a Navy officer, but he was actually the super chill one in the family. Yeah, he was like the parent that if you wanted to get away with shit, you went to him.
Yeah. Actually, on that, I remember at one point you said that what you grew up around 29 Palms, right?
Yeah, I was there for a short period of time when I was very small, but I remember it a little bit. I was a toddler. Yeah, but I remember since before I could walk.
Say what?
I remember, I have memories since before I could walk. So I remember 29 Palms.
Yeah. Fun times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I like most people have a very negative opinion about 29 Palms just because they fly in, do training out in the desert, and then leave. But if you're like stationed there or you live there, it's actually a really good time.
Oh, dude, like hunting lizards in the desert, that was badass. I mean, I was a kid, so I have those memories, but
oh, now I was thinking more like there's a bowling alley, and then there's this like really cool bar, like town over that's like back behind the town that like it's almost like something out of a fairy tale where like if I give you directions, you will never find this, but if I take you there and you've been there before, you'll be able to find it again. But it's cool. Anybody that's looking, Pappy and Harriet's, check it out. But they have like live music most of the nights. I don't know what they're doing for COVID, but they have live music almost every night. A lot of times it'd be local bands, and the place was, you know, it wasn't small, but it wasn't big either. It was like maybe the size of Chili's or an Applebee's, like that size of the restaurant, but that was like the whole bar. But they would do weird shit. Like, I went in one time with my buddy and keep in mind, this is like 2017, right? Mm-hmm. And we thought it was gonna be some like local band, never fucking heard of them before. But we figured, hey, you know, we'll get drunk and say, hey, whatever. Well, Paul McCartney fucking showed up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And that was like my second or third time there. And we're like, is this normal? They're like, oh yeah, dude, friggin' whoever was here like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, it doesn't say that on the thing. It's like, yeah, it's not gonna say that on the thing. You just have to like be here for it. It's like, okay, all right, cool. If that's how you get to bring it around.
Well, and if Paul McCartney shows up, he gets to play wherever he wants because he's Paul fucking McCartney.
Yeah.
So, damn.
Yeah, and I found a couple bands like that. Like there's this country singer, Jamie Wyatt. I don't know if you're familiar with her or not. But she's really good on the outlaw country scene. I found her there the first time. I'm like, dude, this chick rocks. What the fuck? How do I find her shit? Oh, first album comes out in 6 months. I was like, oh, all right, cool. Well, I can say sorry before that. So
I'll have to check her out because I like. I mean, I listen to a wide variety of music, mostly rock and roll and like metal and stuff. But yeah, I do like good. I like good country. I don't like the like sappy shit. But
she's more along the veins of like Waylon Jennings or Dave Allen Co.
Okay, I'd probably like her then. Yeah.
Yeah, she tours a lot with Shooter Jennings.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What was her name again?
Jamie Wyatt.
Jamie Wyatt. I'm gonna check her out. I like that kind of. I got into country a little bit when I was in middle school because my best friend in middle school owned a horse, and we actually worked at the barn and would like muck the stalls and like feed the horses and shit. And yeah, I was getting paid under the table at the age of 11. But yeah, hey, it was fun though. But of course, they had like country music blasting the whole time because it was a proper barn.
And then that depends on where you go to too, because some people will have like that Alan Jackson, Travis Tritt shit, and then some people will have, you know, like, all right, so here's some Willie Nelson. We got Hank Williams and Hank Williams III. We're gonna put Hank Williams Jr. over here real quick.
It kind of depended on who had control. Like if they just like had the radio station on, then we would get whatever was popular at the time, which this was the 90s. So definitely Alan Jackson and Travis Tritt. But like, yeah, a lot of the time, if they were just playing a CD or a cassette tape, as it were, it would be Willie Nelson or somebody of that nature. Cause it was pretty cool. They were straight up rednecks. So they definitely had a lot of country.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, when you say they were straight up rednecks, were you chewing Red Man when you were 12?
I was not. They were. And their son, who was like, he was older than us, but he was still a teenager. He was like 15 or something. He was definitely already on that chew and for like years, whatever his name was. I don't even remember his name. But yeah, he was already like dipping and shit. And I was like, I remember even at the age of like 11 or 12, I was like, fuck, man. You know, like this is a little much, isn't it? At this age, good luck with your dental. Yeah. But to each their own. I've always been of the opinion of like, hey, people know the risks. As long as, you know, if you know what you're doing to your body, then fuck it. Have fun.
Yeah, he said facetiously as he took another drag from a cigarette.
Yeah. Dude, you're an adult. You know what you're doing.
You know, I get called an adult a lot. I don't know if that's accurate.
Mhm.
Like I have a nice face I put on when I go meet people in a professional setting,
Mhm.
but then it's like I can't wait for this to be over because like I got a bottle of fucking rum and it's not gonna fucking drink itself.
See, and I think that's the secret though, because I think everyone who is an adult feels that way. They just don't always like to admit it because no one actually wants to be an adult because being an adult blows. All you want to do is sit at home and like play with your toys or whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
And the responsibility of having a house and all that stupid bullshit. Like honestly, sometimes I just want to go back to trading chickens again. Like, can we please just like if I build it, it's mine, and I'll like trade a chicken for some food. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah. I would disagree with you on that one just because chickens are assholes, and I don't know why we call cowards chickens because
those they'll come at you.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been in a fist fight with a chicken, but I don't know anyone who has been and won.
I've met a few very angry, mostly roosters in my time. Yeah, mostly the roosters. The hens are I have actually like cuddled hens. Like I have a friend who has a farm and she has like a shit ton of chickens, and like the hens are like you pick them up and pet them and shit. Like they are docile as fuck.
Yeah.
But not the roosters.
Yeah, no, my buddy's got a bunch of chickens. I think he's got a couple turkeys and ducks now too. But the chickens he has are like the fucking worst. Like there's I think 3 or 4 of them that decided that they're going to be the clique, and anything smaller than them is going to die the minute it shows up. So they have to like keep them all separate before they put them into the community. It's like, all right, so this thing's got to be twice the size of one of these, or it's not going to be here in the morning. So
yeah, well, yeah, and chickens are like people. Well, number one, dinosaurs are birds are the descendants of dinosaurs.
And the chicken is the closest living relative to the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which just tells me the Tyrannosaurus Rexes were probably fucking delicious.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually. But yes, and that's exactly where I was going with that. So, it makes sense that they would cannibalize, and they will. Like they're fucking carnivorous. They'll go after things. You gotta watch it. My sister has a cockatiel, and that bird, like it was like the first time Piper is like 21 years old now. He's an old ass cockatiel, but the first Thanksgiving we ever had, like he flew and jumped on the table and ran straight for the turkey and started like tearing into it, which we were like, damn, you goddamn cannibal. But it was amusing, so we let him go.
Yeah.
Germs be damned.
Yeah, no, and they're picky too, and it's all birds. Like my wife's uncle has a parrot, and it's like a macaw, big, like it's like a foot and a half long, and then it's got 6 friggin' wings, whatever. And its thing is, if someone it knows introduces you to it, and you also have large boobs, it will let you pet it. Otherwise, it will bite your fucking finger off. Like, no, and that's the line. Like it's like, hey, listen, if you don't have C cups, you're not coming to this room. Sorry, it's not.
You just gotta stuff every day. Just like have a bra that you have stuffed, and make sure it's like just buy a double D and just like stuff it with like pudding packs or something, and then go in there. Yeah, every time you see that bird, he'll be cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like there's like a line of tape on the ground. It's like, don't cross the line. It's for your own good. Trust us. We don't need. And it's like, in their garage and they work out of. So it's like, we don't need new lawsuits. We're just trying to change somebody's oil right now. Don't touch the fucking bird.
Yeah, just stay. Damn. Yeah, I want to meet that bird now. Birds are like fussy as shit and they're funny.
He's a really pretty bird too. He's like, I think he's 30-ish. So
they live a long time. Like the macaws, I think, can live for like 100 years or over 100.
Yeah.
The African greys definitely can. Like Winston Churchill's African gray parrot was alive until like 1998 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was 150 years old or some shit like that. I don't know. But
no, that always makes me wonder like what the like what happened in our ancestral past that dictates life expectancy now, because like when whales live forever, like not forever, but there was a whale some scientists, picked up the tag, I think like 5 or 10 years ago, and it had a harpoon in it that they stopped using those harpoons in the 1890s.
God damn.
So it's like, so this thing survived somebody trying to whale it 110 years ago.
Which means it was big enough to whale 110 years ago. Damn.
Yeah, but then you get stuff like possums. I think they only live like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, possums. Yeah, around in the wild. I think domesticated possums live closer to like 5 to 7.
Right.
But yeah, which I actually like possums. They're not. I don't know. I got a thing for them. They're cute. I think they're cute. I know everyone disagrees with me, but I like possums.
Well, I mean, like I follow a few on or a few people on Instagram that like have them as pets. Like, got them small, trained them like a cat, taught them their name, how to do tricks and shit.
They're smart as fuck, and they can never get rabies.
Yeah.
I don't see the downside.
Yeah, and they eat ticks and snakes and shit. Yeah, no.
Yeah, they do. They're good. They're good fucking pets. I would have a possum, and they play dead. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's fantastic, but I don't know. I also like ornery things, which is probably why I love my cat so much. She is a fussy 13-year-old lady, and there is the other cat's all like cute and shit, but I don't love him as much.
You gotta have an attitude.
You gotta have an attitude. I gotta love you. You gotta work. You have to hate me a little bit, and then like give me the cold shoulder, and then I want you more. But
this makes your Jocelyn character make a little more sense. Or Jocelyn.
Yeah, the Spanish pronunciation. Yeah. Because in my mind, she's basically a Latina.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at it at the Arab point of view, like Yasmina.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jasmine, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of same. Yeah, but I basically I took her name as the Spanish form of Jocelyn or however you want to say that name, and basically made her a Latina with all bubbly and cute and shit. But she'll kill you.
Yeah. And now you cross the wrong way, and oh, man, who slashed my tires?
Yeah. No, I just actually, because I'm writing the sequel right now, I actually just wrote a line where like Jocelyn totally threatened to eat a cat.
Oh, dude, come on, man! Like, they didn't come back. They didn't come back at the end of this one. You ruined shit for me. Okay, all right.
I know. Hey, they did. They did. They did.
Did they?
Yeah.
I thought what's his face and what's his other face like were kind of being priest dudes, like waiting on the hill for him.
They were, but then like the epilogue is the very end, and they come back.
Yep, you're right.
Yep, and they bang. Yeah.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they came back for like a page. All right.
Yeah, they were back for like a page, and yeah.
I remember like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. yeah. It literally was like I was like, and they're back, and they bang, and then here's what happened for like here's like a paragraph to sum up what they did. The end. But
thankfully, your characters weren't assholes in the same sense that us in real life are assholes, because and I was kind of half expecting of the smart ass in me. It was like, oh look, they're descending from the sky after they disappeared. Get the crosses.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be, well, they are a little more assholey, maybe. I don't know. Jocelyn did just threaten to eat a cat because the cat wasn't giving them the info. There's a spell that they cast so they could talk to the cat. There's a whole thing. And the cat was being a little non-forthcoming. Jocelyn was like, I will eat this motherfucker. And then they were like, oh my God, shut up. It's hard to explain. There's this whole subtext thing, but it's very funny when you actually read it. And Aram is very sarcastic. It makes me happy. Yeah.
Quick caveat. I will say that cat is actually delicious, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So is dog.
I've never had either.
Yeah, Korea. Yeah, that's not a stereotype. That's real. I mean, it is kind of like. It's like, hey, listen, if you go to an actual restaurant, they're gonna look at you like, dude, get the fuck out. But if you go down to the hood and you find somebody that's got like essentially a taco shack, but it's not taco, it's rice and strange meat, and you're like, I want something that barks or meows. Be like, give me 5 minutes. But yeah, when in Rome, right? Like,
and I'm actually a little surprised because usually they say predators don't generally taste as good as the herbivores.
I don't know, bear's good.
Actually, yeah. I have had bear. And you know what? I've had snake, and snake was good. I like it.
Alligator's good too.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? I think it's just how you season it. Same thing with like, you know how like everybody's always talks about like in memes, like, oh yeah, white people don't know how to cook food. It's like, no, I'm gonna stop you right there. White people above the Mason-Dixon line don't know how to make food.
Hey, you know what? You go to New York, there's a lot of you know what? That's a lot of immigrants. So
yeah, and like Italians and Irish weren't white until like the 60s. So
that's true. Yeah. I still get mistaken for like Hispanic all the time, which I don't mind at all. It's fine. But like I've had
oh no, you're frozen again. Come on, Hollis. Where are you at? I think we're back. Okay.
I'm sorry for the buffering. I don't know what the hell.
Technical difficulties. We'll chalk it up to that.
Yeah, it is. I'm sure that's probably my my internet situation, because we're here, like you're up north, so but like down here in Georgia, we are dealing with the stupid like remnants of the hurricane and tropical storms. So like the weather's fine, like everything's fine, but our internet's getting fucked with. So man, and we just got a new fucking roof on this house because
that's fun.
We were not expecting it. We were not like we had a leak a couple weeks ago, like right onto the bed.
Ooh. So it was weird because like we had a really bad storm last fall and we had a leak in our dining room, but we couldn't figure out where the fuck it was coming from because there's a bedroom on top of that and there wasn't any water in there and there wasn't any water in the attic. And it's like, how did this water get into the middle of the fucking there wasn't water anywhere else. Like,
was there like a pipe running in the ceiling?
I don't know, but I figured if it was a pipe or something, it would have kept leaking and not just have leaked during the storm.
Right.
I was like, where did this fucking water come from? So,
well, or you obviously haunted and you have a ghost because
could be. Although, so I haven't noticed anything like that. My sister is very much into that kind of stuff.
Me too.
And she tells me that there is stuff here, but it's all like 1960s like chicks in cocktail dresses drinking and joking around. It's like I haven't noticed that, but if I did, I think it'd be a lot worse of a time for them than me. And what would happen during the I guess the big horror movie scene, my wife wouldn't be happy about. So I mean,
well, and honestly, if that's okay. The most in my personal experience, because I'm into, and frankly, I'm a little sensitive, but
hey, me too, and that's why I'm glad I haven't picked up on it.
Yeah, but most spirits and ghosts are like nothing. Like they don't give a fuck about you. You don't need to give a fuck about them. Just like everybody be cool and nobody cares. It's a very rare situation where you actually have something to worry about.
Yeah,
but
no, and like if one of them did, from what I pick up that they are, or from what my sister says about this house, which again I haven't noticed them here, but and we can go into other shit if you want to in a minute, but it's like if there was a problem with one of them, knowing what they are, I would go full Mel Gibson on them. Like, nice dress, sugar tits, what's up? And then they'd be like, all right, I have to leave this fucking house because I cannot deal with this fucking asshole's bullshit.
Yeah, like I will not be spoken to with this manner. Yeah. Though, if they're 1960s chicks, that might just be par for the fucking course. I mean, come on, like they were used to getting their asses slapped and all sorts of stuff. So
but then I don't want to have the next conversation the next day when my wife gets up before I do to go make coffee and then comes upstairs and goes, hey, babe, there's an awful lot of ectoplasm in the kitchen. What's that about?
Because we're going to talk about this right now before you have your coffee. I'm withholding until I get explanations. Okay.
Hey, first off, this is my house. All right. And I tried that power of Christ compels her shit. Did not work. Turns out I got some other tricks. Oh, God damn it. Yeah. Good news is the house isn't haunted anymore.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome, darling. Yeah.
So I had to do what I had to do for the safety of this household. All right.
It's not cheating if they're not alive.
Yeah, no, but like if you like work at a morgue, that's a completely different conversation.
She works at a morgue?
No, but I mean,
Oh wait, yeah, that would be, yeah. Not the dead body. Let's be clear. Necrophilia is not okay. We are not promoting such madness.
unless you're writing about it, in which case, I mean, like, you got to support authors. So,
well, in authors, it's all of our search histories look like that of a psychopathic serial killer. So,
yeah.
it's.
Yeah, did you ever like just like in the middle of something be like, you know what I should do? I'm gonna go to Google how to get book published, how to write this. All right, so the FBI agent knows that I'm looking at that. All right, so.
Well, and I'm like. And you probably have the same thought as somebody who like formerly worked for the federal government, like, how they watch things and like some of the buzzwords that are red flags. So you're like, I really have to make sure that they know that I am not looking up like how to kill someone with one strike because I'm trying to do it quickly, but I am just like metaphoric, like not in reality. It's
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, no, I had a scare, not a scare, but like a dance with how I went to Google shit a couple months ago because of the thing I'm writing. It's like, all right, so I get these people in a pinch, and due to the nature of what's going on in the plot, they need to blow up a dam. So I need to look up structural integrity of dams. Also, there's not a lot of material around, so I need to be able to build a bomb out of a car. Turns out it's really easy to fucking build a bomb out of a car, even when it doesn't have gasoline in it. You can
go.
High quality explosives with just rust.
Damn.
Yeah.
Though that makes sense. Like honestly, explosives not difficult.
Yeah. No.
And anyone who has some basic understanding of chemistry can do it.
Right, but when you're Googling this at 3:00 in the morning, like during an election,
right? Yeah. Well, and honestly, I comfort myself because I write fantasy, as you know, and like a lot of the shit that I'm looking up is like it's like very medieval and ancient world ways of fighting and killing and whatnot. So like I'm like, and I'm a historian. Like my degree is in world history, and I do a lot of research for all of that. So I'm like, they probably just think I'm researching like some ancient fighting techniques or something.
No, and like the one of the worst parts about it though is like when you can't figure out what question you have to ask Google to get your answer. So you're like sleeping through shit, and then like suddenly you have an epiphany, and you're like, 3 words. There the fuck is what I was looking for.
Yeah. Though I will say I have freaked my mother out on more than one occasion because sometimes I will just call, because she is a nurse and she has a lot of medical knowledge, and I will just call her and I'll be like, Mom, what is the best way to like slit someone's wrist? Like, like how is the blood going to pour out? But I'm like, when you want to do it so that it pours out like and she's just like, I'm like, exactly where? And she's like, I'm so glad I know you're a writer and that you and that my child is not some demented killer. Anyway, darling, the best way to do it is to take it and go straight. Anyone who goes across is either not trying to kill themselves or they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
But
the other stuff about knowing that kind of stuff though is that comes in handy for things because like there's a lot of shit, whether it's in books or movies or TV, where something happens. It's like, nah, dude, that fucking kills you. Like, wick. I know you're gonna keep on walking around with that. Okay, all right, yeah. Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but like when you get your arm cut off, like there's a artery that gets severed. You're supposed to be dead.
Yeah. The armpit full of things that should never ever be touched if you want to stay alive. Like it's amazing.
No, the other thing is like when people get shot, like with a bullet or an arrow or stabbed, like right here, it's like you're never using that arm again.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of shit. Yeah.
Actually, you specifically, I can Live Free or Die Hard. Remember that? Die Hard.
Yourself through it.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's never using that. And then because
if it doesn't kill you in the next minute.
Right, and like that, and people don't like Richard the Lionheart. Like he was killed by an arrow to the shoulder.
Yeah,
because that shit got infected with gangrene. But like that was a death blow a long time ago. But and it's still you never have use of that arm. unless it's just a really shallow hit.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
But on the flip side of that though, like that scene in Die Hard, it was like, all right, yeah, that was badass though.
It was cool. Yeah, in the moment I was like, oh my god, but then I was like, no, wait a minute, but now he can't. Then of course in the next movie, total use of all limbs.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
Well, you would think after the first one, after walking on that glass, he'd have some fucking nerve damage in his feet, and just walking would hurt. But you know.
Speaking of Bruce Willis, I got to make fun of my husband for like a solid 20 minutes the other day because
these are all jokes. I'm
I'm
totally gonna go in on it because that hairline's sticking right there. My granddad's like almost 90 and got that hairline, so
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah. Anyway, I was saying that I got to make fun of Gunnar for like a solid 20 minutes yesterday because he was like, "Oh my god, sweetie, Bruce Willis is finally getting into sci-fi," and I was like,
"Wait. So did The Fifth Element not count as sci-fi?"
I was like, "Seriously, The Fifth Element and like he's done a dozen sci-fi films."
Well, what's he doing new though?
Shit, I forgot that it looks cool. But he's got a new thing is coming out. It looks cool. It looks cool. Surrogates. That was the other sci-fi one that he did.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Yeah, I like Surrogates. But yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know this? You know this, and you're a nerd. What the fuck? How do you call yourself a nerd? You have to go stand in the corner now for like 20 minutes. Yeah. He's a little older than me too, so I get to like ask him what God was like as a child and things like that. So it's fun. We're about 10 years apart. So he's just like he has to deal with a lot of shit from me. But when we first started dating, he actually lied about his age because he was afraid that I wouldn't like him. So he has to deal with that for the rest of his life.
Well, I mean, the thing is with that though is like because he's bald, so like you can get away with that. It's like, yeah, there's no gray hair up here.
You would never know. Well, and he's also
35.
So he looks younger. So, because he's Asian. So like he can I could have never found out that he was 5 years older than he told me. And I would just totally believe him. I mean, like, I don't want kids. It's fine. It's like, it's just like, but now he has to deal with me asking if he broke a hip every time I hear a noise. It's just the way it is. I'm such an asshole, but I have fun.
It's all about the entertainment value.
Yeah, it is. It is. He did kind of draw the line one time when I was asking him about being a cradle robber and that sort of thing, and like referencing that, like statutory rape and stuff. And he was like, "Bitch, you were 30 when I met you."
No, you got to be careful because that could be flipped. Because if he's robbing the cradle, like. If it was the other way around, you might be robbing the grave.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He did not take it that way. He just told me that wasn't funny, and that other jokes okay, but no to that one because it made him sad. So I stopped with those.
All right, yeah, that's concedable.
Yeah, I thought that it was acceptable, and yeah, I'm a little bit more of a. Though he's an asshole to me too. We love each other very much, so it's easy to be mean to each other.
Yeah, no, and I think that's something that isn't brought up enough in fiction. Is that if two people really do love each other, they are the most horrible fucking people to each other.
Oh my god!
Doing it, it's like they're saying that in jest and humor because there's a deep inside joke that you had to be there fucking 15 years to fucking get. But if you're watching from the outside, it's like, dude, Jesus, what the fuck are they talking about?
But it's so funny, especially like in the prank stuff. I mean, you gotta keep it fresh. Is really the relationship gets boring if you're not mean to each other. That's just how it is. You just have to understand you don't cross the line.
Yeah, it's not malicious.
Yeah, don't be malicious. Don't be like, don't cross that prank line into actually being cruel to the other person. Yeah. But yeah, definitely like put a little vinegar in their cereal. See what happens. That was funny.
We cook our breakfast in this house. Put it in their fucking eggs, dude. Jesus, fuck. Excuse me. No, one of the things I think is great about marriage is it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of funny at the same time. Is the actual metric for if a marriage is successful is one of y'all dies.
Yep. You don't get divorced. You actually die. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. No, I mean, that's gross. It's a fact of life. Yeah, but
yeah. Well, and honestly, I think that like it was a stupid quote from like a sitcom, but it was somebody like on the thing was talking about relationships, and they were like, well, it doesn't last forever, but who's to say that the best loves always have to? Who made that rule? And I was like, like, I'm going to be married for the rest of my life together. I'm very confident about that. But I'm also a divorced person. Like before I was with him, I was married to this other guy and I loved him very much. But it was like we were done when we were done. Yeah. And there were we parted very amicably. Like we don't talk anymore, but like no bad feelings at all.
That's healthy though.
Yeah, it was. He was a good guy, but honestly, he was he had a lot of issues. He needed a lot of psychological help. He definitely did, and he was a good person. I tried to help him as much as I could, but
yeah. No, that's the thing though too, is like people will like almost assign themselves as someone's healer, and it's like I know you want to try, and you're doing something that in theory is noble and admirable. However, you're not a psychologist, and even if you were, this isn't the type of relationship you want to do that in.
Yeah. You need to be able to be objective to the person you're trying to help. If you really want to help them, if you're a spouse or a significant other, you just need to be supportive, because you can't actually go through the like motions of like, let's try this exercise and make you feel better. But and I was trying all sorts of shit. Like I was like making him go outside and take walks with me every time there was a sunny day. Like, let's get some vitamin D and all this bullshit. But what he really needed was a good psychologist.
Yeah. And that's something that even if you could give in that situation, you shouldn't, because those should be two different things. Like you should be able to talk about your problems.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I guess a good metaphor is a mechanic shouldn't work on his own car.
Yep. That is a good metaphor. Yeah. And that's exactly it. And he was really like, again, wonderful person, but he was fucked up. He like he was Czech from, he was a Czech guy from the Czech Republic, raised in that bullshit.
So how did you even meet a dude from the Czech Republic?
So I met him. He was an international student at my university.
Oh, I thought you were about to say he was a mail order husband. I was like, dude, Hollis, come on.
He had a great ass. He did. To this day, Philip's butt, best ass on a man I've ever seen to date. That's fair. Yeah, it is fair. It is. I used to walk like a little behind him so I could look at it, and he would get mad at me for being in his blind spot. And I'd be like, oh, you just walk so much faster.
And meanwhile, he's ahead of you going, I married a fucking pervert.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't care. Shameless. I don't care. That was my husband. I could look at his ass all I wanted. But he was an international student. I was working in the international office. I was a student assistant in the office at the time. And we met, and I thought he was cute. And so I became his conversation partner. Because I am that, like I am not shy. When I see something I want,
really, you're not shy. I would not have ever guessed that. Not once. I don't know her.
Yeah, no, yeah. Gunnar got told he was my boyfriend. Yeah. He was fine with it. He was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, no, this is where we are now. Okay, moving on.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm not to flex on age, but like, I was at the point where, there was a couple times where I was like, hey, go check your Facebook real quick. I'm in a relationship with. Can we have talked about it's Facebook official?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. That's how it is. It's I never did the social media thing, but I mean, like I do it. I have social media. That's how we know each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just, as far as personal relationships are concerned, I was always like, yeah, we don't need to post that. I don't need everyone to be commenting on, like, I'm here to sell books.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was a hot minute ago. Like right now, I'm not even 100% sure that I'm friends with my wife on Facebook. So
I am definitely not, because Gunnar doesn't even have a Facebook account anymore. He deleted that shit. So, and you know why he deleted it? Fun story. So way back in the day, like, because he is 48 years old and he's old. He was he was at the University of Santa Barbara, like Silicon Valley area, blah, 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 during the big Silicon Valley boom. And they all got Facebook. Mm-hmm. And he and his friends are posting pictures and blah, blah, blah. Then a couple weeks later, this other friend called up and was like, yeah, so you guys are in porn. Somebody had taken their faces from Facebook photographs and photoshopped them into porn films. And so his face was on porn. Like, and
all right, yeah. So while you're frozen, I guess I'll go on with my story. I don't know if I could I don't know if I would have the same reaction. Like, I'd be like, dude, they give me a huge dick. Holy shit, dude, high five.
Well, no, he and his friend, because some of them were girls too. Like, it wasn't just the guys. It was like their friends who were female, like their whole group. They're most very attractive people, I guess, but they all got photoshopped into porn, which is one of the reasons that Facebook had to put its first like privacy settings up and everything, because of their they actually sued Facebook back before Facebook became like a big deal. Nice. This was 2004-ish, maybe, whenever Facebook was invented. I don't know.
Because like I know Facebook was around for a while, but like you had to like show them like you
had to be a university student at first.
Like 2007 or 8 or some shit.
Yeah, I joined Facebook in 2007.
Yeah,
but it had been around for several years, maybe even 2003. I don't know, but like he was in it like in 2003, 2004 when this shit happened. And then their lawsuit about the porn is what caused Facebook to have to like set controls. But that's why he's not on Facebook anymore. He's like, I do not need that. My face does not need to be plastered all over pornography. I'm good. But because the internet never dies, that means that his face is on porn somewhere.
So, like, have you ever had like one too many glasses of wine? Got on Google, like, all right. So, just out of curiosity,
I have looked. I've looked. I can't fucking find it, and he won't tell me what it was. Like, I know he knows the title, but he won't tell me.
No, I had a friend like that. I found. So this is back when I was in Camp Pendleton, and we had this dude. His name was Kelly, and he was a giant bitch, and like it was like. We're trying to do everything we can to get rid of this guy, but we can't because, try firing somebody in the fucking government, right?
Right.
But one day his like wife shows up and starts yelling at him. And I'm like, I've seen her before. Where have I seen her before? And then I'm like, Kelly, like after he gets done, he's like, hey, dude, what was up with that? And like, she's like, oh yeah, blah, whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. So does, and like pretending to be compassionate, does Sarah normally do that? Is Jessica a thing? Finally got her first name out, and I'm like, all right, so I've seen this chick before. I'm gonna go on Google, type in her name. Okay, no, it doesn't happen. Well, nobody does porn with a real name. Let's see. Marine slut. Fucking. I'm gonna find this fucking chick because I hate you specifically. But like, I'm like doing a deep dive, like trying to figure out what to ask fucking Google, and I see this one picture, and it's my buddy who his name is not Bob, but I'm just going to call him Bob.
Bob, yep.
And I'm like, hey, what the fuck's Bob doing in this? Huh. Oh, hey, Bob's fucking another dude. And this is before Don't Ask Tell Dog got repealed. I'm like, all right. Hey, not Bob, somebody else. Hey, dude, hey, fucking Richard, come check this out. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? So he calls him immediately and he goes, dude, we found it. And Bob's like, you found what? He's like, it. We found it. And he's like, oh, and this is at a point where you could like get kicked out of the military for that.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. Did I look cool? I mean, he was like, we were both like,
fuck, dude. That is not the right question right now.
I guess maybe, but like, just like, that's on the internet. And he's like, well, yeah, I know. They gave me like $5,000 for it. Like, you got $5,000? And then like we made him pay for drink for like a month after that.
Yeah. Well, hey, you don't. It's That's awesome. Oh man, yeah. More people have been in porn than not me personally. I would tell if I had, but porn is a much more lucrative thing than people realize.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. I've known a few people who have done like nothing huge. They're not like Jenna Jameson or anything, but
is Jenna Jameson still around? I mean, I know she's like alive, but is she doing anything?
I don't know. I think she may have retired from porn.
Because like I know like Christy Canyon's got like a radio show.
Yeah, a lot of them like go on to do like just fun, cool stuff, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Jenna Jameson, she was a commenter on like VH1 bullshit for a while.
I remember that. Yeah.
She seemed really nice actually. She seemed like a really cool chick. But which, by the way, like Dragon Con, the and
that's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
The big one is in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's huge, and but like way back in the early days, like 1996, I was a kid, but I was going to Dragon Con at that time because I used to be a mascot for a Japanese animation company. I was booth babe for a little while when I was like a teenager.
Wait, what anime company?
It's called Iron Cat Studios. They're not around anymore. They got bought around 2002 by Pioneer, maybe.
Oh, okay. Because if you're gonna say it was like Sunrise or like like Funimation, I'd be like, all right. So I got some other questions, but
no, not them. Iron Cat Studios. They were super small to begin with, and they didn't make any movies. They specialized in the transition, so like bringing stuff from Japan to the U.S. But they had some cool, like they transitioned like Vampire Princess Miyu and all of the Lum stuff, and like they had some big name stuff that they scooted over. But basically, I was working there, and my sister and I both did this, and like at this particular Dragon Con, they had porn stars there, and the Playboy bunnies were there.
Well, Dragon Con gets a little more freaky than like Comic Con does.
Oh, absolutely. But back in the day, like Dragon Con was even freakier. Like right now, actually, you wouldn't have porn stars, like or Playboy bunnies. But way back in the 90s, in the early days of Dragon Con.
Well, I mean, Playboy bunnies are kind of a thing in the past. Like I know that like we kind of grew up with them, but like anybody like say born after 1995 would be like, that's something. I know that's something. I know that I should know what that is. Yeah.
Playmate of the Month is no longer really. It's a little sad. I'm a little sad about it. I don't know. It's kind of fun. But they had like when we were walking around, and at the time, like we were dressed up like anime girls. So we were kind of in sexy costumes.
Yeah.
But we were walking around, and like I saw and I said hello to the Playboy bunnies, and they were total cunts. They were unfortunate. Yeah, they were like, they just like, and I was just like, dude, I'm just saying hi to you. And as somebody who is working the con, as opposed, like I was in the back green room area. So I
also like, I'm a chick. Like I wasn't jerking off to you.
Yeah. Like, and I'm a chick also in a sexy outfit. Like clearly I'm working here. I just said hello because I don't know. I just wanted to say hi. You're kind of a celebrity. That's cool. And they were just like bitches. And I was like, but the porn stars were so nice. They were like super friendly and talkative. And I was like, oh, you guys are the best. I'd rather hang out with you. It was fun. Though mom hates that story.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why an Italian Catholic woman would not like that.
She wanted to become a nun when she was a child.
Yeah, once again, I can't put two and two together on why that isn't adding up.
Yeah. My mother is like, she is so like, yeah, just like debutante or whatever you want to. I don't know. I don't know what happened with me. My sister is much more classy, and
is she a nun or?
No, but neither one of them curse at all.
That's a fucking shame.
I know, isn't it? I just like, I'm probably the most mouthy in the whole family, but I grew up in a family that never swore because my mother hates it. She thinks it's terrible, and
I'm sorry, Hollis's mom, if you're watching this right now.
Yeah, no, she doesn't know the computer that well.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, in that fucking case, sorry.
Fucking sorry, but yeah, like it's weird. No, my sister's the same way. Like she'll get pissed off, and my sister will be like fudge, and I'm like, seriously, just say fuck. Just say fuck. We all know. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like, listen, if you're doing that for religious reasons, God knows what you're trying to say, and he thinks you're a pussy for not actually just fucking saying it.
Right. Well, also, the thing is, it's not religious.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, if you look at the Aramaic or Latin, fucking Paul swore a lot. And they just like translated that out of the Bible. Which, while she's frozen, I will go into that. If you don't know the story of Paul, Paul started off as a what exactly did Paul do? Like, I knew he was a Christian persecutor. I don't think he actually like was the hangman, but like his job was to like to root out those dirty Christians and make sure they get the fucking gallows or the crucifixion.
Yeah, he was like an investigator or something. Yeah. I don't know what the title was, but yeah, he was an asshole.
Yeah, but like in the original fucking translations and shit, he talked very similar to you would imagine like Dirty Harry fucking talking about it.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. It never says it anywhere in the Bible. I think Daniel Tosh, the comedian, has a thing, or like you get to the gates and St. Peter's like, welcome to fucking heaven, everybody. Let's get the fuck in here. And they're like, whoa, you're swearing? And it's like, where does it say in the Bible that you can't swear? And it's like, no fucking where. And it's like, that's right.
Yeah. Other fun fact, when it says don't take the Lord's name in vain, that doesn't mean don't say God damn it. That means don't tell people that you're the speaker for the Lord and that, you know, we're doing this under God's authority when you don't have the authority to say we're doing this because God said so. Mm-hmm. Catholic Church looking at you.
Yeah. Oh, Catholic Church. So many things I can say.
They've never done anything wrong.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. No religious organization has ever done anything wrong in the history of man.
No, they were shuffling all those Nazis out of Germany because, I'm sorry, they weren't shuffling any Nazis out of Europe.
None. That never happened. I don't understand what you're talking about at all.
Yeah, either.
Nope. Nope. No altar boys ever suffered at the hands of a priest. I don't think that anything bad has ever happened.
No, and like the Rhineland massacres were not a fucking thing. So
absolutely not. And one of the main authors of the New Testament, definitely not a raging pedophile. Definitely not. Yeah. So. Yep. Yeah. And another one totally didn't kill his wife.
Well, I mean, was it killing or was it murder? Because those are two different things.
Very different things. Very different. It was a mercy killing.
Yeah, and like women are property back then, so that's kind of just like, you know, knocking down your own shed. So.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just haunt you forever. Yeah. That's you know. That's the ultimate revenge. I swear to God, if I ever became a ghost, I'd be the most annoying fucking ghost on the planet. I would just fuck with people all the time. I wouldn't even do evil things. I would just be constantly opening one cupboard forever in your house.
Oh, I wouldn't even do that. I would just like unscrew the top of the salt shaker.
Yeah.
Like stuff you couldn't blame on a ghost. Like that, like, it might cause a domestic dispute, but a ghost didn't do that.
Yeah. Nope. All the shit that needs to happen. It'd be fun times. Yeah. I almost want to become a ghost.
Well, I mean, you know, fucking statistically speaking, you probably will at some point. Just give it a few years. Hopefully decades, but you know, I don't know that like a meteorite's not going to smash your house in 5 minutes.
Honestly, like getting old doesn't bother me at all, and dying has never bothered me personally. Like to me, natural part of life, I'm fine with it. But not that I have a death wish, but you know, I'm like not afraid. But yeah, it does miss a lot of opportunity, and I don't understand people who want to live forever. Like the ones who want to be like, oh, we want to live to be over 100. It's like, why?
It'd get boring.
Yeah, it gets boring, and your body is decaying the whole time. Like,
well, no, like even if like, you know, you got like a wish from a fucking genie, and you're gonna be fucking in a 23-year-old's body the entire time. It's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. The Wish for Immortality, I never like, well, and if I think the other book that I've written that's not published that I'm currently trying to get published.
Yeah, I think I read like half of that because you sent me the thing, and I got sidetracked and then didn't get back to it, which
God damn it.
I feel bad about. But on the other end, like I just read Demon Assassin by L.D. Nash, and that took me a good 4 months to read, and that had nothing to do with my disinterest in the book. I've been shit about reading.
I have to, honestly. I'm much better about audiobooks because I can just like go for a walk and turn that shit on, and but it's the time, like actually sitting down and reading a book instead of fucking like watching television or whatever other nonsense I decide to do. Yeah. I like to craft, like you can see in back of me, I've got like sewing mannequins and shit. Like I'm a very ADD person. Right. And I just reading a book, I love doing it, but I also don't always make it a priority. So I'm really fucking like it. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, excellent book. Loved it to pieces. That took me like 6 months to read. Just because that's the kind of person I am, apparently.
Yeah. No, and like the worst though is like if you have to, or if you decide that you have to read a book for like research for your own book, so like you make it work but prioritized work for you, not for like your actual work. You're like, all right, I have to read this book to get this information out, and then like you start reading it, it's like, dude, this book fucking sucks. Jesus Christ. Dude, look this whole thing could have been like a short essay, you fucking windbag. Shut the fuck up. Case in point on this, I don't know how much of my stuff, I know you read the first one or two.
I'm halfway through the second one.
Okay. But the fifth one, there was, and this isn't like major spoilers, but there was like a fucking coup d'etat and, you know, government takeover, whatever. And I wanted to make it authentic to what dictators would actually really do. So like I read Mein Kampf, and that is like the stupidest fucking book ever fucking written. It's like literally that whole thing. It's like this big. It could have been like 30 pages.
Yeah.
Like 4-point font. Like
I'm shocked you got through it because like I started to try to read it once and I couldn't deal.
I just wanted quotes, but like, you know, but at the same time, it's like I had the same problem with Voltaire. It's like, dude, free speech does not mean just keep fucking yapping.
Dude, I feel the same way about Dickens. Dickens, I mean, people love like in National Treasure of UK, blah 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 blah. I kind of hate his writing. I kind of hate it. Like everything is. I remember in A Tale of Two Cities in the first chapter, he spent like a whole paragraph describing a goddamn dish towel, and it has nothing to do with it. I'm like, dude, you got paid by the word. We get it. Shut the fuck up. Just move the plot along. Like this book could have been 200 pages less.
Yep, and like that's not even fucking relegated to books anymore. Like I love Quentin Tarantino, but was it The Hateful Eight? That movie could have been 45 minutes long.
Yeah. That really could. And I love Quentin, like Reservoir Dogs, one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, that Pulp Fiction, fucking Foxy Brown, like
early Tarantino.
Yeah.
Even I loved Inglourious Basterds was good, but that too could have been a little abbreviated.
And like it wasn't even like cutting scenes out. Just like, dude, make the fucking this clip that's like a minute and a half long. This could have got the point across in the same manner and had the same effect. And what it made me go, dude, Jesus fucking Christ, just cut 5 seconds off of it.
Yeah.
You do that enough over the film.
Well, and films have gotten like the average length of a movie now is 2 hours. The average length of a movie used to be 60 to 90 minutes. Like when I was a kid. Like in the 80s and shit, like people, if you watch The Princess Bride, like that goes quick. You get through that.
Yeah.
And it's excellent. And like now I love the Avengers films and I love a lot, but there's a lot of shit that I'm like, we don't need this. I don't need that conversation. I know they're in a relationship. I don't need to have an extra 5 minutes about it. I'm good.
Well, the other thing with the Marvel universe is they shove a lot of shit in that doesn't need to be there.
Yes.
And like there are things that works for, like Kevin Smith's movies. He shoves a lot of shit in there that doesn't need to be there. But at the end of the day, that story didn't need to fucking exist. And the only reason it was there at all was because of a bunch of shit that needed to happen. And he just wizarded it to fucking together in a manner that you enjoyed it.
Right. Which is fine if that's like, well, and the early Kevin Smith films, I'm in, like Mallrats it's just a classic.
Oh yeah, Mallrats is fucking great. Like that, or like the original fucking Clerks. Like,
oh yeah. Which, fun fact about Mallrats, my brother-in-law, who is a comic book artist, actually did some of the artwork for the beginning of the Mallrats credits.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. He's an inker for the comic books and stuff. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. He worked on the revival of Thundercats about a decade ago. Yeah. It's pretty, I know people. I could get you some free comics.
I haven't seen the new Thundercats, but the old one was like the one from the fucking 80s or 90s. That was a fucking boss ass show.
That was the best show. Yeah. I haven't watched the new one because I kind of didn't want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I fucking love the 80s. And She-Ra and He-Man too. Like, even though those shows were for kids, you'll watch them and you're like, as an adult, this is relevant. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Like, it's oh man.
Yeah, same
we
thing
need
with
more shows like that.
Voltron, Robotech, and Speed Racer and shit, just fucking
Hell yeah.
classics.
Yeah. Speed Racer, that one. So do you remember Courage the Cowardly Dog, that cartoon? Yeah. The old man from Speed Racer, or from that show, the grandpa, same voice actor as the original 1960 Speed Racer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I got to meet him. Well, back when I was a booth bait, I met a lot of really cool people, like the guy who was in the Darth Vader suit in the Star Wars films. And
David.
I actually forgot his name, and I feel terrible.
David Prowse.
Yes, he was very nice, and we celebrated his birthday with him, and like I got to eat birthday cake.
Nice.
It was so great. And he like writes articles for men's magazines in the UK.
He got a raw deal though. He kind of got like pushed out of the Star Wars community after the fucking movies because like he didn't have any FaceTime or voice time, and it was like listen, I love James Earl Jones to death, but like he spent like an hour on all three of those movies.
Yeah, and then David, he was there. He was the guy in the suit. He was doing all of the physical, and but he wasn't even bitter about it. Like, he's such a nice man. Honestly, one of the nicest people I've ever met as a celebrity. But it's pretty. I've gotten some nice ones in my time. I've had some fun, and I got to meet Adam West a few times, and he is fucking crazy. He's okay.
How so? Tell me about Adam West being crazy. I want to hear this.
Well, it's just like, okay, in Family Guy how they project him in Family Guy as like the mayor, and he's just like fucked up weird.
Yeah,
like,
but he played himself. So I mean,
yeah, and that's the kind of crazy he is. Like, he's not a bad person. He's fine, but he's just like left field 100% of the time. And you're like, all of a sudden he'll be like, I have to go do this now, and you're like, oh, alrighty. and he's just like, and he insists, like, has he passed away?
Yeah, I think he died like 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, like I saw him the last year because he came to Dragon Con every year, and he insisted on driving up in the fucking Batmobile and getting out of it every single time, even though they were like, Adam, you can't even properly like get in and out of this thing anymore, because that thing was not an easy car to get in and out of.
That's still a boss move though. Like,
it's a boss move.
I can't blame him for that. I would do the same thing.
It would be, but like, he was like, to watch him when he was in his late 80s, like it was a little sad watching him try to get out of that thing.
Yeah.
Or into it for the parade, because I'm in the parades every year, and seeing behind the scenes, where like it's a little sad. It's a little sad, but no, he's all right. He might forget you're there, but he was all right. He just kind of like sometimes.
All I'm hearing is that he was dedicated.
He was dedicated. He was
dedicated.
He was very dedicated to the role. And he like was Batman in his mind. He was like, I am Batman. And you're like, yes, you are. You're Batman.
Dude, there have been so many good Batmans too. Like, I never really like fawns over Christian Bale, but like, I really loved Michael Keaton as it. And then like
That's
I also I thought George Clooney was fucking shit, but like I liked Val Kilmer as Batman.
Val Kilmer was a good Batman. George Clooney was just a bad choice. I don't know.
Well, that whole movie was a train wreck. Like the only good thing about that movie was that Schwarzenegger was in it, and it was like, dude, you got Arnold to do this. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Well, I gotta get so many props.
Arnold makes things better. It's fine, but yeah, it's I will agree with that. Though Keaton is forever my favorite Batman. He's just like that man is just like I love his acting range because he can do literally anything he wants, and he's not. I mean, he's a good-looking man, but he's not like a hot guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not like overbearingly attractive.
Like, yeah, you saw him on the street, you wouldn't be like, oh, look at that. He's still just like a dude.
Yeah.
But I love it because he's just insanely talented. He can do comedy, he can do everything, action hero, and apparently he's just the nicest fucking person in the world.
He also plays like a really good fucking asshole. Like, have you ever seen the movie The Founder?
Yes.
Where he plays, for those of you at home who haven't seen this, he plays what's his name, Roy Kroc, the guy that set up McDonald's. He didn't invent McDonald's, but he like set the empire up.
Yeah.
And in real life, this guy was a giant raging cunt, but Michael Keaton played a really good fucking asshole.
Oh, he did. Yeah. His intensity in those scenes. Oh, yeah. Like when you do not want to get told off by him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you see him in other like Mr. Mom and shit like that. Like,
well, no, and that's what kind of gives me faith for the new Batman movie because they got the guy from Twilight playing him, right? And it's
Robert
like
Pattinson. Yeah,
and like at first, like, oh god, the guy from Twilight is gonna be Batman. Jesus fucking Christ! But it's like, wait a minute, what was Michael Keaton doing before Batman?
Mr. Mom. Well,
and what was Bruce Willis doing before Die Hard?
Some other stuff. There was a really funny spy film.
No, he was in a TV show I think called Moonlighting where he Ross from Friends, and it's like you're gonna get Ross from Friends play fucking okay, all right.
Yeah, it was good.
Pulled it off.
Yeah, though Robert Pattinson, like if you look at his, well, of course he was Cedric Diggory in the Harry Potter films, which anyway, but he also, if you look at his career, he is a much better actor than that Twilight stuff. So I actually lost a little respect for him when he did Twilight because I was following him before that because I pay attention to the UK stuff because I have friends over there and
nerd.
Yeah, I am a total nerd. I have friends in the UK and so I know about shit that happens over there and they're celebrities because he was a celebrity over there before ever Twilight. And he is kind of fucking amazing. Like, and have you seen Tenet, the new film?
No, it's on my list. That and the one about the lighthouse. Yeah,
I haven't seen the lighthouse one, but Tenet, dude, I want to see it like 5 to 7 more times. It's really good. Yes, and Robert Pattinson he's one of the leads, and he does a fucking amazing job. And Denzel Washington's son, who, David.
I don't know.
Johnson. He's amazing. He's amazing. And you can totally there are moments where you see him and you're like, oh, I see Denzel. I see it. I see the eyes. I don't know. There were moments, but it's a great fucking movie. And anyway, I can't spoil it for anybody, but.
So anyway, hopefully after the next Batman, we'll be like, okay, so we might have judged this guy a little bit too harshly because there were some bad mistakes that were made in the 2000s. 2000s are not a good time for anybody. Let's just pretend that this didn't happen. So anyway, Batman.
Yeah, Batman. And honestly, Robert Pattinson, if you look at his other work besides Twilight, you will earn respect for him. Right. But just disregard Twilight because that is not good material to work with anyway. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but I do not like those books. I tried and I couldn't.
So I don't know how big you are into comic books, but there's a series that's been out for a while now. It's Blade, but he keeps having this reoccurring nightmare that he's hunting down Bella and Edward, and then right before he beats the shit out of him, and right before the knife goes in, he wakes up and he goes, "Oh man, I didn't get to kill him."
Oh yeah, because I love Blade. Oh damn, yeah.
Dude, and Blade was one of the reasons I was mad at Marvel a couple years ago. It's like, oh yeah, Black Panther, the first Marvel action hero that's got a black dude. And it's like, dude,
no.
I understand Black Panther's doing some shit, but like,
Yeah.
don't shit on fucking Blade like that, man.
Well, and let's not, okay, and I know this is like a totally random, but I love X-Men comics.
Yeah.
And in the early 90s, for like very briefly, a couple of comics, there was this character called Lightbright.
Okay.
And our, you know, well, like the toy, but she was a like badass African mercenary who got this mutant power, and she would like do this thing where she would like basically, you know, project sunbeams and like burn people's eyes out and shit, and be like, bah! Like light bright, and it was, and she would just like, she was so powerful and she was so cool, and she was African, she was black, and she was a mercenary, so she was kind of like the super badass chick before she even became a mutant.
Yeah.
And like, and she had an attitude, and I loved her and stuff, and then they just like kind of wrote her out, and I loved her, and I was mad. Like, I remember I somehow ended up with the Lightbright introduction comic when I was a kid, because I randomly, and then I kept looking for them, and then I found out that they wrote her out of it, and I'm like, those sons of bitches. This chick was a badass, but that's what happens to characters of color, unfortunately.
I mean, I guess it depends on who you are, but like, I would always look forward to it when, like, you know, I was like reading Spider-Man, and like he'd end up fighting a vampire, and then I'd be like, I know what's gonna happen next issue. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know about what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Blade's gonna show up and fucking cut a motherfucker in half, and then he's gonna fucking stab about 1,000 other motherfuckers to death, and this is gonna be fucking great.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. And I also probably saw Blade at a little bit too young of an age. Like, I remember watching it on VHS in like middle school, and like my dad was like, "Hey, we're gonna watch this movie." I'm like, "All right, cool." And I was like, "Dude, there's a lot of fucking blood in this. This is kind of gross." Oh, this is gross. That guy's so fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes that got made. I definitely saw a lot of films that I shouldn't have. Do you know the film Watership Down?
No.
Okay, so it's actually a political allegory, but they tell the story through cartoon bunnies. And so I saw that at the age of fucking 4. Within the first like 2 minutes of the film, there is cartoon murder with blood, like. And I fucking loved that movie when I was a child. It's one of my favorite childhood films was Watership Down. And if you ever have a chance to watch it, it was like, came out in 1978, whatever. But it's fantastic. And the thing is, like, my parents, like, they saw the cover and they were like, bunnies, cartoon.
Kid.
This has to be fine. And then not just one of my favorite movies, my sister and brother loved it too. And it's like, the bunnies are getting caught on barbed wire and choking to fucking death, and they're murdering each other, and like, it's a really good story.
Have you ever seen a movie called One Crazy Summer?
I have heard of that, but I don't think I've seen it.
It's one of those movies where like John Cusack graduates high school and he goes to Nantucket to like hook up with like Demi Moore because she's in a rock band, you know, Summerfield Time Good movies or whatever.
Right.
But in it, there's a subplot where John Cusack's character is an illustrator, and he's got this like rhino character, and his rhino character is like, you know, cartoon, and, you know, comes in and out, and he's like going out in the world trying to look for love, and, you know, love's like a little Cupid guy, but he's like blind going around with a cane, and he comes across these, you know, cute and fuzzy bunnies, and, you know, at first he's like, "Hey, bunnies, can you help me find love?" And all the bunnies get there, like, "We can help you find love," and they like do like ring around the rosy thing, and like halfway through the song they're like, you know, rose is red, violets are blue, but love would have nothing to do with you. And they like, start pulling out like, you know, whiskey and like chugging it and like smoking cigarettes and shit, and then like the rhino starts crying. He's like, well, and the narrator's like, well, you know, our hero, he didn't really know what to do. He was heartbroken, and the rhino starts crying. He's like, so he put down his suitcase and he pulled out an Israeli submachine gun, and then like he starts just like shooting all the fucking rabbits.
Oh man, see, now that kind of humor is really funny. It's very funny, but you wouldn't see that in a lot of films today because people are oversensitized. Yeah. But yeah, that's just
the internet.
Yeah. Well, the internet has everything, thank God. But like, seriously, if they put that, I don't know. A lot of people, like, I understand, like, maybe I shouldn't have seen Watership Down at the age of 4, or even, frankly, I saw Jaws at a very early age too, and I am still very wary of being in the deep water. Like, hugely. In fact, I don't even really like to go that deep in the ocean. I'm fascinated by sharks, but I still have a thing about it. But like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not that fucked up. I'm okay. And it's taught me caution.
Yeah. Now, see, my thing with the ocean is like, I really love the ocean and I love to be on the ocean on a fucking boat on top of it. I don't care if that boat's in a storm. I don't care if that boat's going into port. I'm not in the water.
Yeah. The ocean is beautiful when you are dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like being on the ocean a lot too, but I don't want to swim in it, to be very honest. I respect the creatures that live in it, and I know that I am a floating piece of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the food chain. Like, I think human beings sometimes get a little arrogant in their own heads without realizing it. It's like, dude, you go out hiking, you're a fucking piece of meat, and you're really easy to catch because you're a human being.
Yeah. No, and like a lot of people get killed by wildlife all the time, but then every once in a while you get that story where it's like, oh yeah, this dude beat a fucking panther to death, and it's like, I would be dead, but
yeah. I mean, respect, absolutely respect, because that's a fucking panther. But
but the memes that come out of it are fucking golden. Because like there was one where the dude's like at this press conference and he's talking about, he's all scarred up and shit, but he's talking about beating this, panther to death, and there's this like, chick standing next to him, like looking at him, is like, oh, his cougar problems have just begun.
Oh man. The whole cougar thing is very amusing to me. I don't know why, but it just, I don't know. Something about the older woman preying on a younger man, and I know it's usually not preying, but I just like to imagine it that way, like she's like hunting out in the like club scene and everything.
Guys in the panther, man.
Yeah, seriously, it's like she's out there hunting, and then she like drags them home and like shows them to her kids, like, look what I caught. No, this is your new father. So, hey, you know what? Respect to cougars, though. They keep it. They keep it together. They look good.
Yep.
Oh man, I need to like take a walk or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because the next part of the conversation, so what's Ethne gonna be doing when she's 40? And I was like, wait a minute, no, she was like 90 in the book, right?
Yeah, she's already like 120. Yeah, and Darian's like 130. Elves, I actually have this on a post-it right in front of me. In that particular thing, elves age 4 times slower than humans.
What about demons, though?
I just have kind of not calculated that, and I think I've decided that demons basically live about the same, though Jocelyn, it's a gray area whether or not she's like a half demon or a full demon.
Right.
And frankly, as the author, I'm undecided.
As long as I don't give specifics, I can say whatever the fuck I want. Take this, motherfucker.
Yeah. Her origin is foggy, and as the author, I'm like, I don't know if I ever need to decide if she's full-blooded or not, because we never need to fucking know. So,
and it might be shady, but you know what? If you can't take shady with a demon, then you're in the wrong ballpark, buddy.
Exactly.
I don't know what you expected out of this.
Yeah, exactly. So like Jocelyn's gonna live about the same amount as Aram, and it's cool. They're fine. Yeah, they're barring anything. But yeah, she could be whatever. But yeah, about the same amount of time, and humans get the possibly the shaft. But as we were just discussing a few minutes ago, living for a long fucking time isn't actually all that appealing.
No, like the fucking I forget what his name is. The Elrond in fucking Lord of the Rings. Like,
yeah.
I have no idea how that dude hasn't fucking put a gun in his mouth. Well, I know why he hasn't put a gun in his mouth, because there aren't guns. But I don't know why he fucking has an office. Like, yes, I was there in the first stage.
So on a sword.
12,000 years old. Like,
yeah.
I'd have got bored and killed myself because I ran out of shit to do at that point. And not even like I'm tired of living. It's like, I've literally done everything else. Let's see what this is like.
Yeah, seriously, you can only do so much, and it's just like you start to go a little crazy, and I can't even. Well, and if you read the other half of that book I sent you, you'll see, because I touch on immortality,
yeah,
and it's just like it's terrible. like it's a terrible, terrible thing. And I actually have the character go into a deep depression. But they can't die. So it's fucked. Like suicide might not even be an option, depending on what kind of immortal you want to write.
Right. Although that has always bothered me though, calling certain beings immortals. Like, you know how they call vampires immortals? It's like, no, you can kill these guys. Like, they're pretty bless me. I'm sorry. They're very technically mortal. They just live longer than everybody else. Like, why are we calling them the unmortals? It's like, like I can go to the beach.
Can't be killed. You're like a god essentially. Yeah, and you know, like anything, you might live forever.
If nothing eats you.
Yeah. Barring accident or incident, you could live indefinitely, but that's not necessarily immortal.
No, but like, what happens though if vampires decided to come out, right? And they decided, hey, listen, human or cattle, and we're going to take over the fucking planet, and we're going to just kill fucking everything. And or we're going to kill all the people and eat them. And then like the only ones we're going to keep alive are going to be in stock so that we can, take their blood out kind of like we do now with like pigs or beef.
Right.
But as a final fuck you, humans genetically engineered, I don't know, mice, scorpions, wolves, and cats to have silver claws.
I like it.
It's like, yeah, we know we're going down, but have fun with anything you might want to have as a pet.
Yeah. Or you might try to eat if a human's not available.
Yeah.
Just as a, thanks for the fish, motherfuckers. Yeah. Kind of.
We're going to replace the mercury and tuna with silver. Which is another fucking thing I think is interesting. Like, once you take it into the fucking sci-fi realm of things, is werewolves can only really happen or be a thing on Earth and maybe Mars, because other planets don't have moons. So there would be, even if you were bitten by a werewolf and you were infected with the werewolf disease, there would never be a full moon, so you wouldn't know. Or you could be somewhere like Saturn or Jupiter that has like 60, 70 moons, where at any given time there is a full moon. So you would always be a werewolf, which, just leads me to think that Jupiter has an outrageous fucking werewolf problem.
Well, yeah, that is an epidemic that they have to deal with. It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's, I'm sure they're used to it by now. But yeah, that's quite it. But that's part of what makes it unique. Though human beings are like, I don't know, probably nowhere else on the planet though honestly, the whole like humans are born of aliens, or like that whole theory. Yeah, I kind of makes sense. I don't know. I personally definitely believe that we are not alone in the universe. I don't know if I believe, because I think it's just fucking arrogant to think that there aren't any other living things that have intelligence out there. There definitely are.
Yeah.
Whether or not all the stories are true, but
like, the way I look at it is like, there's two ways to approach this problem. Either there is or there is not a God. And if there is a God, it's both ignorant and arrogant to believe that we're the only things he made. And if there isn't, then it's mathematically impossible that life didn't happen somewhere else. It coming here, totally subject to debate, but that it happened somewhere else at all.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, and that like possibly some of the creatures on this planet are not of this planet initially. Also possible. Who knows? Like octopi, octopus, whatever, like there's scientists right now, like writing papers about how they don't think octopus are of Earth, which is interesting. I read that article the other day and I was like, I mean, they could just be an evolutionary marvel. I don't know.
I mean, it's totally plausible. What is it? The panspermia thing, where like bacteria came here like on a fucking asteroid, however the fuck long back. It's like blocked in some ice, kind of like the Thing, but instead of being the Thing, it seeded life on the planet. It's like, yeah, right. That seems plausible to me, but there's absolutely no way to prove that. But I mean,
no, we would have no idea. But that's the thing about science, is like, what people don't realize about science is that it's changeable. Like there's no good scientist sitting around going like, well, that's checked off and done forever. Yeah, we're done with that one. Like, a good scientist is constantly questioning why, and is constantly open to the idea that that theory can be blown out of the water any goddamn second, because who knows?
Now, see, on that though, to throw it back to what we were talking about at the beginning, there are some things that I think you should lie about. And one of them was, I saw this cartoon and they were digging up a T-Rex like skeleton they found, and in its hands it had a rosary, and they're like, okay, we can't tell anybody about that. They go up a little bit further, and like around its arm it's got like it's got a fucking swastika armband. Like, okay, let's just bury this fucker.
Yeah, you definitely need to lie about that.
Yeah.
That is a complicated T-Rex with a lot of thoughts, and yeah. So, my brother, though, it's a fun story about, speaking of Nazi armbands. When my brother and I used to live together, because we, we're Italian, and my mother dictated that since we were the only two living in Georgia at the time, that we were going to live together. And he and I were like, cool, we already know how to live together because we did that growing up. That's cool. But I have my cat, Thistle. He's constantly talking about how he wants to eat her and murder her, and how she like has a weather machine and she fucks with everything. There's this whole universe built around my cat that he claims to hate. But I was out of town for a weekend and he was taking care of her, and he kept sending me pictures. He made a little Nazi armband, got it around her thing, and then he waited, and he got her in the pose where she was lifting.
Oh God.
Yeah. And he was like, I told you. Like, sending me all these goddamn texts of Thistle, with her little, and she's just such an innocent cat, and she's just sitting there like.
Yeah, but at the same time though, you had to have that thought where it's like, oh God damn it, my cat's a Nazi.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
No.
He also claims that she's a fucking communist because she's always going around saying Mao. And
that would have been a lot better to go with, because you can't be a Nazi and a communist at the same time. It's like a little bit of a conflict of interest there.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that he has fantasized about, and he constantly, anytime there's a problem, he's just like, Thistle is the one who caused the hurricane and all that bullshit. And I'm just like, I don't know why I argue with you about this, but this is our relationship. So
yeah, you have fun with Miao Zedong.
Yeah, exactly. But he, I don't know. We have never stopped fucking with each other. When we lived together, I used to come home and know I was being hunted, because I would walk in the door, and he worked from home, and he would be waiting around corners to murder me with the spatula.
All right.
Yeah, it was fun times. And he's a second-degree black belt in Shaolin Kung Fu, so he won most of those.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine why.
Yeah, he's really fucking quiet too, like a jungle cat. It's not.
No, what you need to do is walk in the door with a Nerf gun, with a thumbtack taped to the front of it, just all right.
Yeah. No, I would seriously. I'd come home from work. I'd be like, and then I'd shut the door, and I would know I was being hunted in my own home, and I'd be like, where is he? I know I'm going to get a wet paper towel to the face at any second. I don't know. He would wet up balls of wet toilet paper, and all of a sudden.
I mean, did you ever fuck with you though? Like you come home and on the porch there's a copy of The Most Dangerous Game, and you're like, oh God.
No, I tried to get him back a lot of the time, but he usually evaded me. Though I became so immune to his bullshit that it just got he created this whole creepy long fingered poster cutout, and he did glow in the dark paint as eyeballs and stuff, and he knew at the time in the winter I was getting it for work really early, it was still dark outside, and he hung it in the hallway thinking that oh, she's gonna flip her shit, thinking there's and I just walked right the fuck past it. I was like, I know what's happening. And he was so mad, but he tried it on his girlfriend a few years later, because he kept that. He was proud of it. We used it as Halloween decoration. Yeah. And yeah, she freaked the fuck out. So it was a good prank. Just I became very jaded over the years.
As one does.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hollis, it was great fucking talking to you. Tell Everybody, where we can find you at?
Oh, yeah. So I am on Instagram at Hollis Jo McCollum, which my name is at the bottom right there.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So I'm also on Facebook, but honestly, I just I don't even check Facebook. I just auto post from Instagram to Facebook. So, and then I recently, yesterday, started a TikTok account against kind of my own will, but I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it because it's apparently the thing you do now. And that's also at Hollis Jo McCollum. And you can buy To Save a World on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com, or frankly, anyway, you can find it a lot of places. You can Google my name as an author and you will find a lot of fucking places where you can buy that book and everything. I also do short stories, and hopefully we'll have more out in the future. Just need to get to writing and publishing.
Yeah, and then you started doing the once every week or two reading of your updates for what you're working on Instagram Live. So
yeah, the power therapy. That's with Dr. Cobus Forster, his power therapy program, which powertherapy.com. It's really cool actually for people dealing with trauma or anything like that. It's actually a really nice program that helps you. It focuses on the solution rather than focusing on the why. Like, you dig into that a little bit, but it's more like, okay, put that aside. We know why. Here's how we're going to solve this problem. And I think it's a really good program for that. And he wanted somebody to write a series of fairy tales to illustrate the different techniques and things like that you can use. So I'm writing therapy fairy tales for that. And that's what I'm reading. And the first one of those is also available on Amazon. If you look Power Therapy up, that's how you find that one. They're like 6 to 7 pages long. They're very short.
Yeah, no, because on Instagram when you do your live, it only takes 2 minutes to get through. So.
Yeah, it's like a 20-minute read, and that's with me doing voices and shit. So if you're reading it poorly, but whatever, I try. So yeah. But thank you so much for having me on. This was fun.
No, thank you for being on. We're gonna have to do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Yeah. And hey, if I ever get a podcast, I'll have you if I ever, stop being lazy. So,
yeah, no. And then whenever your next books come out, fucking let me know beforehand and we'll get you on for promotion shit before it, comes out.
Please. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Well, have a good night, man. I'll talk to you.
Good talking to you. Have a good weekend.
You too.